Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about renter's insurance, how it differs from homeowner's insurance and why it's a good idea. My name is Laurie with eXp Realty and I'm glad you tuned in to listen. If I give you anything of value, please give me a thumbs up. It encourages me to keep making videos. Let's get right into it. Renter's insurance is always a great idea. Let me tell you why. Renter's insurance will cover your contents, things inside your house. That's what it covers. And that protects you if there's a theft and everything gets stolen. So many people say, well, I don't own anything of value. So that doesn't make any sense to me. The other thing it covers is liability insurance. Liability insurance covers you in so many different ways. So we're going to talk about liability insurance for a few minutes in a minute. Right now, I just want to tell you that the homeowner's insurance is different from the renter's insurance in the way that the homeowner's insurance covers the structure of the house in the event that something happens to the house. So the renter's insurance is often referred to as a contents policy, which covers the contents of what's inside the house. So let's say you have a house fire and it's not your fault and it happens because electrical or whatever reason, and there's a house fire and the house totally burns down and there's nothing left. You've lost your TV, your pots, your pans, your dishes, your clothes, everything you have inside that house. No matter how nice your landlord is, no matter how much they care about you, they cannot buy insurance to protect your contents. Things that you have inside the house are protected only by you through a renter's policy. So I want to make that really clear. It doesn't have to be your fault. It doesn't have to be a theft. But if everything gets destroyed inside your home because of a water bursting pipe or something like that, the landlord is not liable and you are out all of those things. You can't sue your landlord for it. He cannot protect your belongings inside your house. That is your responsibility. So I want to make that really clear that it doesn't have to be your fault. If you still lose everything and you don't have a policy to protect you, then you don't have a policy to protect you. Another real benefit of having a renter's policy is that it will often give you a discount on your homeowner's policy if you show that you have a renter's policy, and it just shows a level of responsibility that they reward you for in the future. So I like that. Next, I want to talk to you about the second part of a renter's policy. Second part of a renter's policy is liability coverage. Liability coverage is an amazing coverage. It'll cover you if you're liable to someone else and cause damage to them. Two scenarios. I'm going to give you two examples on where that might come in. Let's assume you're happy in your house and a couple different things could come to mind, but let's just say you're happy in the house and you're deep frying French fries, for example. Let's assume that that for some reason you have to answer a phone or you get distracted from what you're doing and you leave that oil unattended and that oil boils over and catches the house on fire. Now the house is on fire. You're liable because you didn't act responsible when you were cooking with that hot grease. Now that's verdict's going to go out to judgment and get judged on a lot of factors. But if they find that you've acted negligent in a way that most responsible people would not have acted in that same circumstance, and you are liable for that damage, then you have to pay. You have to pay back the insurance company that fixed that house and got it back into order. So that's where your liability insurance would come in and pay for that damage that happened. Let's use another scenario where that might come into play. Let's say you had a pet in your house and it's a dog and he's never bit anybody in his whole life, but all of a sudden he just really doesn't like somebody that comes through the door, darts through the door and chews on their leg. Now that person's going to sue you for a couple different things, probably for stress, probably for pain, probably for doctor bills. Then you're going to be liable for that, for not having control over your pet. Your liability insurance from your renter's policy could step in and help you in that circumstance. So that's a big deal. Let's say you're not even home. You're at the park and you throw a frisbee and it just cold cocks somebody in the eye and they're hurt. And they go to the doctor to get their eyeball fixed and they can't. And then they want to sue you for the damage to their eyeball. And if they win a case, guess what? You're going to have to pay that. You're going to have to pay that out of your future paychecks. unless you have a liability policy that's attached to your renter's policy. Renter's policies are intended for people that are renting. That's why that's called that. However, if you own a duplex or a fourplex, no matter how nice you are, no matter if you're the owner or not, you're going to also need a renter's policy to cover your contents on the side that you're living in, because your dwelling policy for the multiplex is not going to cover your individual personal property. So it's important that you understand the difference in between the kind of policies that are out there for you. I have to tell you this, that when I was working at the last insurance company I was working at, and I worked there for 5 years, when I sold a renter's policy to people, it would give them such a good discount on their auto policy that it would come out to just be dollars a month for that renter's policy. And if they bought it square up, it was $15 a month. So this is a very inexpensive coverage and a very smart coverage. I hope I helped you out a little bit today. If you don't have a renter's policy, great place to get a quote is where you have your auto policy at. They can give you a quick quote. State Farm and Country Financial and a lot of other companies will just offer you a renter's policy as well. So get a quote today, cover yourself, and be thankful you did. If you ever need it, I'll be your very best friend, because I will have saved you a lot of money, heart grief too. I hope you have an awesome day. I hope this was of some value, and I'll talk with you real soon. Thanks.